In lesson 2, we also talked about how to create a document and how to organize and use that within your Google Drive. So first, whenever we're talking about a document, you're not just talking about Google Docs. You're talking about a Google Sheet, a slide, a Google Form, or a drawing. And I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to begin to create those documents for your Drive. Later on within the course, we will discuss these individually and how to create things in Google Doc, how to create something specific in Google Slides. But for now, we're just going to discuss what you need to do to create those files and organize those into your Drive. So first, let's talk about how to create a document. And I'm going to differentiate the course a little bit, and you do have the choice. If you learn better by reading and following along, you can click on the Learn How. Once you do that, it is going to walk you through those steps. But if you would rather watch someone do it and you work along with me, then I am going to show you how to do that. So if you decide you want me to help you, go ahead, click on Open a New Tab, and work along with me by pulling up the application. In order to create a new assignment, you do have two different options on how to get started. If you're not already in your Google Drive and you want to open up a specific application, you just go into your apps launcher and find the app that you want to open. We already do Gmail every day, so we can check our email at school. However, let's say you want to create a Google Doc, a sheet, a slide, a form. All you would have to do is click on those, and I want to click on Google Slides first. Clicking on Google Slides will pull up all the slides that you have created in the past, and it does give them categories the previous 7 days. The most recent file that you have worked in is always on the top. So if you're continuing to work on a document for a couple of days, it's always right there on the top. Once you've named it, you can find it in the previous 30 days. And it will show you all the items that you've worked on in the past 30 days. Earlier, just different categories, and you can see those by scrolling, and you can see how much I use Google Slides. I have a very vast collection of Google Slides because that is my go-to. That's the one I use the most in my classroom. But in order to create a new document, you have a choice of starting from scratch. You can create flashcards, book report, field trip, science project, photo album. It gives you options to get you started, and you can use those templates any way that you would like. But to create a blank document, you're going to click on that. And once it is loaded, to begin working on your document, you can go ahead and start working. If you're familiar with PowerPoint, it's very similar. All of your tools are up here for you to work on. Over here, it gives you templates that you can choose that will change the look of your presentation. To create different slides with different views and different formats, you click the drop-down menu, and it will give you the option to select the type of file or slide that you want to work in. Clicking on New will pull up another template, and you can work on that. If you change your template, all you have to do is click on it, and you can change it to look any way that you would like, and it will give you new template slides for you to work in. So that's how you pull up a new slide. Let's say that you want to pull up a Google Doc. All you have to do, click the app menu, click on Doc. Same concept applies. It has the same format for each application that you open. Again, it will list the files that you've worked on. I was working in Google Docs yesterday. You have your previous 7 days, previous 30 days, and they are all listed. Again, you do have format options that you can choose from, or you can click to go into a blank document. And once you do, you will see that it is very similar to Microsoft Word. All of your materials are here. You can begin typing and format that any way that you choose. But you do not always have to go into the apps launcher. Let's say that you're already working in your job and you go in and you want to see all of the documents that you're creating. Let's say you're in the middle of teaching your students figurative language and you already have documents for day 1, day 2, and you've gone and you've viewed those. Well, while you're in the Google Drive, clicking on New with the plus sign will bring a drop-down menu. It automatically defaults to show you Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and you can go to More. Any extension or application that you have installed on your Google, not Google, but your Chrome drive will appear under your drive. So let's say that we want to open a Google Doc. Hovering over this arrow will give me the option to choose a blank document or from a template, just like we saw when we went into the Google Doc app on the apps menu. You do have that option. So if we want a blank document, we'll click on that. Clicking on from a template. If there are templates available, you can click on General, and it does give you more templates to choose from than if you go into the apps launcher. So be aware of that. If you want to look for all different kinds of templates, you're going to go into these applications from your Google Drive. Now, back into the Drive, just like Google Slides. Blank presentation. Clicking on blank presentation, you no longer have to click on the blank plus. It will bring that file up for you. Let's say that I want to bring up a Google Doc. Click on New, go to Google Docs, blank document, and that will bring it up. So it's just a matter of preference where you are when you want to create the document within Google Drive or going into the apps menu. To create a document, you are going to open it from the apps menu, and then you want to make sure that you can locate this document once it is created. So what you need to do is give this document a name, and it is very easy. Once you come up to where it says Untitled Document and you hover over that, it will say Rename. So I'm going to title this Practice Google Doc. Okay, and once I do, my changes are saved automatically, and it will tell you all changes saved in Drive. You don't have to worry about forgetting to hit the Save button, computer crashing, and losing that and hoping that it restores once you open the computer back up. Glitches happen all the time, and you could be in the middle of the document and it is gone. So once you name the document, all the changes are made. If I were to type in, this is a test document for our fundamentals training course. Once again, all changes saved in Drive. Everything that I've done is saved automatically, and I do not have to worry about saving it as I work. And let's say that after I've created my document, I decided I wanted to give it a different name. You can change that name at any time. All you have to do is hover back over the name. If you click on it until the whole name is highlighted, all you have to do is rename it. So we're going to name this Fundamentals Training Doc. Okay. And I noticed I wanted to capitalize my T, so I can delete that and just change one letter if I would like. Also, let's say that we created our document and we teach two different sections. One is a general education class, one is an advanced class. So once your document has been created, you don't have to start over from the beginning to change little details for one class to another. All you have to do is come to File, and once you do, you click on Make a Copy. When that window comes up, you can choose what you want to name this document. If you want to name it the same, you can. However, we're going to say that this is the Advanced Okay, and just like any other document, you have spell check. And I love spell check because my typing isn't the best all the time. So once you go ahead and name the document, you can decide where you want that to store. If you just want it on your drive and you want to drag it into a different folder, you can, or you can tell Google Docs where you want it to store it. By going to My Drive and clicking the arrow, it will show you the folders that you have available, and I am going to store this in the Reading folder. Okay, once I go in and I'm inside that Reading folder, I click Select. Do I want to share it with the same people? Do I want to copy comments and suggestions? Totally up to you, and you'll learn more about that when we get into the details of creating a Google Doc. But at this time, we're just going to save it in that Reading folder. and we're going to say OK, and it pulls up the copy of the Advanced Fundamentals document. In the other tab, you have just the original document, Fundamentals Training Doc. So you have the option to toggle back and forth so you can look at both documents at the same time. And once that document's been created, just like in your Drive, you have the option of sharing that. And remember, this is what makes Google Docs different from Microsoft Word. You can create a live document that you can share with others, and they can make changes to that also. So all you have to do is click on Share. This is the same window that we saw within the Google Drive, and I'm going to type in the email address that I want to share it with. I can add a note, tell them this is the fundamentals document I was telling you about. Okay. When you click send, it will notify the person that you're sharing it with by email, and all they have to do, go into their email, click on the document, and it will open it up. So I have hit send, and this change from share to two little people, and hovering over that will tell me that it is shared with one person. I can set the permissions by going back in and clicking on advanced. Once I do, again, just like Google Drive, it will pull up the person that I'm sharing it with, and I can choose, do I want them to edit it? Do I want them to make changes to this document? If I do, I'll leave it there, and they can go in, change, check, proofread. Maybe you're sharing it with your partner teacher and it's a letter about a field trip, and you say, hey, can you proofread this for me? They can go in. If they see any mistakes, they don't have to print it off, make notes on it, give it back. You go back in and type it. They can make the changes automatically to that document. If you want them just to be able to comment, if you don't want them to change it, but you want them to be able to comment, and let me show you what that does. Creating a comment, if you go right here to the plus box, it'll say add a comment. So let's say that they should capitalize fundamentals training. I highlight it, I click on comment, and I say capitalize fundamentals. Okay, so if I don't want them to be able to make that change for me, I can click on add comment. When they see something wrong, they can comment on it. When I go back into the document, that comment will be there. I can change and make the changes that they told me that they thought should be applied. I can reply to them and say thanks, because they did help me out, right? And that reply will go there. I can click resolve, and those comments are gone, the highlighting is gone, and the document is back into its regular state. And the last permission I can set for this document, I can click on share, go back into advanced, and I can change these at any time. I want them to comment, and then I want them to only be able to view, because I know it's finalized. That's what I want them, that's what I'm going to print. That's what I'm going to send out, but I want them to be able to print it also. I can click on can view. No changes, no comments, anything can be made on that document. I click on save, done, and my partner teacher and I both have access to the same document. However, you still can make those changes. Even though you disable that from your partner for making changes, you can still make changes at any time because you are the owner of the document. So let's discuss another scenario. You've come back the next day and you're ready to print the Advanced Fundamentals Training document that you had shared with your partner. You both proofread, and you are ready to locate it in your Drive. Going to Google and going to your apps launcher, you can click on Drive, and that will pull up your Google Drive, and you can go to where you saved that document. Remember, we told Docs that we wanted it to save in Reading. Clicking on Reading, I can locate my document. Double click on it, and it will open it up for me to print. I just go to File, Print. My printer dialog will come up, and I can print this just like I would any other document. Now, we've already gone through the process of how to add files to your Drive. You can drag them from your desktop, you can right click and click upload file or upload a folder, and it will pull all of that information in your drive. And remember, you do have the ability to pull in any Microsoft files, and it will convert those into a Google format for you. So how do you know if you're working in a Google Doc or if you're working in a Microsoft file? If you look here, there is a little icon, and this is the symbol of the Google Docs or a PDF. This is the symbol for a Google drawing. My daughter actually drew clip art for my Blood on the River novel, and I used that on the sheets and things that I created. And when I put that in my drive, after I'd scanned it to my computer, it put it under a Google drawing icon. Here is a W, and that stands for Microsoft Word. Clicking on that will open it. So I could preview the file, and then I'm going to tell my computer or Google Docs, yes, I want this to open with Google Docs. When I click on it, it converts my file. Icon will change to a Google Doc, and I say, yes, I understand. And all of the information that was previously there in Microsoft Word has been converted to a Google Doc, and I can work in it. Changes will be saved automatically, and I will have it forever because it's stored on a drive with unlimited storage. So let's look at another scenario. Let's say that you are going as paperless as possible in your room, and you want to add this assignment to your classroom. Going into the classroom you want to add it to, we'll go back into our fundamentals practice class, and going into the classwork tab, and look here. Everything that we have done has appeared in the stream tab, and this is what is meant by condensed versions. It just gives a little summary of what you have done in that classroom, so your students can go in and look. Oh, we have a new assignment. I posted in a material. Ms. Willis wants us to do a 5-paragraph essay. Oh, let's go into classwork and see what we need to do. So clicking on classwork, I am going to add an assignment, and I want to assign the Advanced Training Fundamentals document. So I click on Create, and I go to Assignment. I choose the class. I choose if I want all the students or which student I want to get this assignment. And my advice to you, when you're naming these assignments, name them something that you can remember quickly, because when you're talking to your students and you're telling them the assignment name, you want to be as exact as possible so they can find it when they go back in under the reading, history, science, math, whichever tab that you put it under or topic. So we're going to do the Advanced Fundamentals Training document. Okay, I can do instructions, read the document, add comments as you would like. Now, normally you will not want your students to just say anything they want on the document because it's hard telling what you're going to get, but for our purposes, this is quick directions. So I'm going to go ahead and assign a topic, and I'm going to put this under, let's say, math. Okay, and I have to attach the document because the students can't work on it if it's not in there. So I'm going to click on Drive, and this document was named Advanced Fundamentals Training Doc, and click on Enter. And when I do, I notice there's my document, Advanced Fundamentals Training Doc. I click on that. When I do, I click on Add, and there is the document I just created. Now I have to make the decision, do I want my students just to be able to look at it? Am I just providing information and they're going to work on their own paper? Do I want the whole class to be able to edit the same document? Remember, students can edit file. It will change this one sheet every time each student types something on it. Or do I want to, instead of making 20 copies for the class, do I want to make a copy and let the drive make a copy for each student for me? So that's where you need to decide how you want to assign this assignment. Once you have decided who you're assigning it for, you've got everything set, you're going to click on Assign. And when you do, the document that you have created and you collaborated on with your partner is now assigned to each individual student. I've given the student the same assignment and I did not have to go to the copier. And even though I've demonstrated these skills of sharing, naming files, and everything using Google Docs, it is the same no matter which application you choose. So let's look at Slides. Once I go into Google Slides, I can choose my document, I can click on blank, and it will pull up a brand new Google Slide. And once I've chosen my template and I know where I want to start, I can click here, name the document. This is a practice Google slide. And I can go ahead and work in it. I can change the name at any time just by clicking back on the title. It does, just like Docs, save everything automatically, and so does Forms, Sheets, Drawings, whichever application you choose to work in. I do have the share button, which works exactly the same way. You just type in the person's name, or you can type in their email address, click on that, click send, it will share it. They still have the comment option where they can go in and they can edit it, highlight it, type in their comment, and it will come straight to you. So no matter which application you're in, the procedures for printing, assigning to Classroom, sharing, everything that we have talked about is exactly the same. The same buttons are there, the same options are there. So this is going to save you a little bit of time. If you'd like to open them up and locate these features, please do so. But no matter where you are, you have the same capability for every document. Going back into the Teacher Center and looking at the skills that we needed to develop in this lesson, yes, you can create a Google document. Yes, you can upload files. Yes, you can convert those files. Remember, when you open them, if it's a Word or any Microsoft file at the top, you're just going to tell it which Google application you want to use to open that file. And we've also discussed sharing files. So that is going to take us into lesson 3, and we're going to dive into Google Forms.